Welcome back to the channel. This week, we're going to be talking about our top 10 tips to pass the MRCGP AKT exam. This, if you didn't know already, is the first big hurdle to get through once you're on the GP training schemes. And it's a massive obstacle that a lot of candidates slip up on. We've put together our top 10 tips to help you guide through your revision so that anything comes on the day, you're prepared. Tip number 1. Know what you're in for. The exam's 3 hours and 10 minutes long, of which is about 200 questions. 80% of that is clinical medicine, 10% is stats, and 10% is admin. The exam's focus is all about single best answer questions, but some of the questions are actually picture-based or calculation-based, so try and get used to those. Having a rough idea of what to expect when you walk in on that exam day is essential. Number 2. Prepare adequately. It's a lot of volume and breadth of content, so leave a minimum of 10 weeks of clear revision. If you've got other commitments, be it family, children or a personal life, give yourself another month. If you're using exam question banks, set realistic goals of how many questions you'd aim to achieve in a day. We'd say a rough recommendation is about 25 to 50 questions a day if you're about 3 or 4 months away from the exam, but as you get closer, try and ramp that question frequency up. 3. Clinical medicine is key. And what I mean by that is 80% of the marks are clinical medicine, which means you dedicate most of your revision accordingly. Use question banks and subsections to effectively coordinate your revision. And know your guidance. The exam is based upon up-to-date clinical knowledge and may even include new emerging issues like COVID-19, so be familiar with these. NICE, SIGN and the BTS, etc. frequently update their guidance, so have a clear understanding of the big chronic disease management and its national guidance. 4. Don't cram statistics. This is roughly 10% of your exam, and if you know the foundations, scoring a majority of marks here can be straightforward. See our statistics crash course. I'll leave the link below, but this will give you a really strong understanding of statistics as a whole, and I really recommend it. Don't leave this to the last minute. Truly understand the basics of stats and evidence-based medicine, and make a list of common question themes and work your way through understanding them, including averages, data interpretation, plots, graphs, and study types. Don't neglect administrative stuff. Again, another 20 questions will be organisational related, and as such, shouldn't be neglected. If you mess up on the evidence-based medicine as well as the admin questions, you're leaving yourself a real uphill task for the exam. Have a look at our admin crash course if you haven't done so already, and familiarise yourself with basic themes such as DVLA guidance and practice management. Tip number 6. Examiner's reports. Before the exam date, be familiar with the most recent examiner reports. These will help guide you in terms of previous candidate struggles and an idea of what the examiner is expecting of you. It also gives you a rough idea of what your colleagues struggled on and aids your revision. Tip number 7. Familiarise yourself with the exam setup. It's a computerised exam and the MRCGP website has a tutorial how to use the interface. Make the most of this. Also, the MRCGP has a mock exam of usually about 50 questions that previously was available online. This is a good acid test to see where you stand. Try and do this about a month before the exam date to gauge where your position is and find your weak spots. We're due to release mock exams that are close to the real thing as you're going to get, so be sure to subscribe and follow us on our Instagram page @Dorky_docs so you don't miss a thing. Number 8. Exam technique. There's a lot of questions in a short space of time, effectively meaning that you have less than a minute per question. Read the questions thoroughly to make sure you know what it's asking. Save the tricky questions and come back to them at the end. Take an educated guess if you have to, or narrow down the answers. It's imperative you complete the exam, as opposed to spending too long on tricky questions. There's no negative marking. And if you have a disability or impairment, let the college know. Tip number 9. 1 in 4 candidates will fail. Going by the last 10 years or so, the pass rate sits about 70 to 75%. British candidates tend to fare better than international candidates, and the questions are expected to be at the level of a GP trainee, so don't neglect learning on the job. This experience is vital in terms of the exam revision. However, if you follow the steps above, you'll make sure that you're one of the 75% of those who pass. Tip number 10. Most importantly, look after yourself. This is important. Exam stress can get in the way of day-to-day life, and revision for most people is most effective when it's little and often, as opposed to cramming. If you feel your mind and body are tiring, listen to it. Find something to relax and reward yourself. A focused mind is much more effective than a panicked one. Have something planned for the end of exam that you look forward to. It's a tough exam and you will need some respite and recovery from it, but with the right aids, there's nothing stopping you. Finally, remember to follow us on our channel here and on Instagram at Dorky_docs and on our Facebook pages. We're here to support you throughout your training and will continue to provide invaluable support. In those coming months, we'll be releasing exam papers and a question bank, so look out for those. But otherwise, if you like this video, share and subscribe, and I hope you are more comfortable with the AKT exam going forward. If there's anything you struggle with or you're worrying about, leave a comment below. But otherwise, good luck and I'll see you in the next video.